go to Chris Domino from the Fan in Atlanta, and they got a lot of stress in Atlanta today with the Braves up against it tonight at Petco in the final game of the wild cards on a Wednesday night at around 8:30 East, 5:30 West at Petco. We'll get into Max Fried Chicken in a minute, Chris. I want to talk about Monday first with you. What did you think when you saw them up 3-0 in the 8th inning, give up 6 runs, and then, Nimmo hit the shot above the chop house, a bomb. Then the Albies double off the wall. They score 4 runs and take a 7-6 lead. And then Lindor hits that bomb to the bullpen in right center, and the Mets win the game 8-7, and Diaz closes the door. They celebrate. They get drunk. Then the Braves have to win game 2. They win. They get drunk. Then they got to fly 6 hours to San Diego. And I thought they looked lifeless last night. But what did you think of Monday and the toll it took on the Braves?
Yeah, so everybody kept telling me whoever wins the first game is going to lose the second. And I didn't really understand that because anybody playing, that's a 1-0 game. You're a 3-run poke away from actually being down in the game that wink, wink, you're supposed to win. I'll tell you what happened to me, and I don't do a lot of questioning. Managers got to figure out what they got. They know who's ready and who they can use out of the bullpen. But Ronaldo Lopez was used in game 2 because he had to be, which was basically his side session because if there's a game 3 tomorrow, he starts that one. I would have pitched him in the 9th inning in the first game instead of having Pierce Johnson out there. It's the only thing I didn't understand. Francisco Lindor is better than Pierce Johnson. The fact that that happened is not shocking to me. You had the guy on the mound you didn't really want on the mound at the end of that game, so it doesn't play out. The second game, you're just nervous that some backup second baseman that doesn't know any better, he's going to go hit the 3-run double, and you're going to end up going home instead of going out to San Diego. So it was a little bit more nerve-wracking than I wanted it to be. When I found out, and I found out Chris Sale wasn't going in game 2 earlier than everybody else for a reason. And I texted a couple of guys. I said, I can't tell you anything, but wait till you hear what's about to happen between games. And that was Alex Anthopoulos saying Chris Sale can't go. So then all of a sudden, people in the building didn't know it, quite honestly, until they threw the lineup up on Twitter, their social media account. There was no Chris Sale. And I think for a minute, everybody was like, well, sort of like last night. I got a 21-year-old going out to San Diego, and A.J. Smith-Shawver to throw that game. All of a sudden, game 2 didn't feel as good as it would have been had Chris Sale been on the mound for it.
So if they lose tonight, they're finished. And his Triple Crown season basically is one he can brag about to his kids and his wife. And other than that, it won't matter. I mean, honestly, he'll get a Cy Young, and it won't matter. Their season ends because he couldn't pitch. It's like returning to Boston again with this guy with the injuries. What is wrong with him? Is his back really fried?
Yeah, so he was down about 4 miles an hour the last start. And, everybody kept saying, oh, maybe it's his arm. But I believe it's his back. And it's one of those where you wake up and you go, okay, how do I feel today? Well, I can't go get a side session in. Now, all of a sudden, even if he felt great tomorrow and you said, or today, fly him out to San Diego, he hasn't thrown a baseball enough. Now, I will tell you, based upon the way he's attacked it this year, this has got to be killing him. It's got to be. And, Scotty, I agree with you. Whether it's Ohtani, whether it's Judge, whether it's Lindor, whether it's Jackson Merrill, Churio, everybody starts at 0-0. Everything is gone in October, and you have to prove it all over again. It would be incredible if after all the injuries this year, the one given that you had, and he was the one given that you had, he's not able to go at all in a postseason series that you get bumped. It would just be, I don't want to say fitting as to how this year went, but it would be closer to fitting than anything else.
They have, I think, been really average with all of the problems that they've had with injuries. And it's not your fault, my fault. It's nobody's fault. It's not their fault. They had a brutal season. Yeah. And when you don't have Acuna and it goes on, and now you lose this guy, it's almost like the writing's on the wall that it was just never meant to be. Now, I have to ask you, I already said on this show today that I don't believe Max has been the Max Fried that everyone knows. I think, a few years ago, he was way better than he is now. I think he's not dominant. And I just think that His numbers reflect that. And I'm surprised. People are like, oh, they got, Snicker said, we got the best pitcher going. And tonight, we just need to win one game. The guy, Musgrove's favored over him. He's like minus $1.18, minus $1.20, whatever it is. And that team is for real that you're playing. Like, they barely had to try last night, and they beat you 4-0. This guy's a tough customer tonight. Do you think Fried can step up and win this game, or is it going to be another average performance by him?
Yeah, so he's got a .670 win percentage going into his first free agency year, and what he needs is 2 GMs, 2. You'd like 5, but he needs 2 GMs not to think the way that you think. That at 30, now moving forward, he's not worth X amount of money. Rodon money and maybe a little bit more, because he's been a better pitcher for his career than Carlos Rodon, who got $160 million. That should be the starting point. Don't have a good outing tonight. I don't know how much it changes his money, but it certainly is going to change a little bit of the narrative. I can tell you, he threw last Friday against Kansas City, who needed the win. 8 2/3, 9 punch-outs, 2 walks, no runs. It was phenomenal. It was ace stuff. And I keep telling everybody that night we were doing the pregame, and then again tonight when I do the pregame, he can't look like an ace. He actually has to be an ace, because that line, why San Diego's favored, that's the Braves' offense. Everybody has picked up on what the Braves' offense isn't. They're terrible with runners in scoring position. Atrocious. They still were 4th in Major League Baseball in home runs. As a guy who watched every game, I can tell you it didn't feel anywhere close to that, because man on third, less than 2 outs, nothing. Second and third, 1 out, nothing. That's been going on all year. Their numbers, they went through a stretch where they were 3 for 29 runners in scoring position, trying to ensure a postseason spot. So that number is Musgrove, but it's also Musgrove against this Braves offense this year.
Very interesting. Just let me ask you, do you think they're going to lose tonight, or do you think they're going to win in San Diego and keep their season alive?
So my favorite thing in baseball is a 3-run homer. And I know you guys are talking about deficits, down 2-0, down 3-0. That seems insurmountable now, whereas last year it was 3 runs in the 4th inning. I got plenty of at-bats. They struck out 15 times last night, and I'll do the basic math. That means you had 5 innings of nothing. You had 4 innings to find runs, and they're not a good enough offensive team to do that. Could Laureano hit one out? Could Soler hit one out? Could Ozuna hit one out? Absolutely. You're going to have to, because playing small ball and winning, that's not really what this team could do. I like them enough today because I've seen them with their back up against the wall. But, Scott, here's the difference. They don't thump anybody. They don't win 3 games in a row by beating the dog out of people. It's just not who they are, which means their margin of error is really smaller and thinner than it's been for the last few years around here.
I got, respectfully, a minute. What do you think of the Falcons tomorrow night at home against Baker Mayfield and that offense with Evans and Godwin, and the Bucs are pretty tough?
Yeah, the problem is the Falcons offense isn't. $100 million quarterback, 3 top 10 picks, and they didn't score a touchdown. Now, they won the game, but they've been involved in 2 games. Pittsburgh didn't score a touchdown against them, and Pittsburgh won. It's really kind of strange that it's happened to this team 2 times in 4 weeks. I wish I trusted the offense more. I just don't. I don't know if it's a learning curve. I don't know if it's play calling. The first week was a disaster. That was just, nobody really understood what happened. But if you can't score touchdowns in this league, you're asking your defense to do too much. There's been too many 3-and-outs. They are on a 6 for 27 stretch trying to pick up third downs. 2 for 9, 3 games in a row is what they did. And you don't win football games doing that. You've got to get into the end zone. Thank God they got a kicker who can hit a 58-yarder at the end of the game.